All right, let's look at lesson 10 and lesson 11 together. Let's check those out on page 961 for chapter 12. So lesson 10 and 11. Today we're going to work on composite figures and finding volume of composite figures. And it says a composite figure is made up of two or more three-dimensional figures. So a composite figure means we might put one rectangular prism together, like this picture shows, with another rectangular prism to find out the entire volume, okay? We've worked with rectangular prisms where each layer was the same amount, but now we're going to be working with rectangular prisms with different sizes, okay? So let's take a look here. It says build it. A composite figure is shown below. Use centimeter cubes to build the figure. Well, how many cubes would be needed to make the base layer? We have 4 across, 2 deep, 1 high. So 4 and another row of 4 would mean we were going to have 8 cubes. Okay, then the top layer, we have 2 across, 2 wide. So 2 by 2 is 4. So we would need 12 total cubes to build that figure. Okay, so the number of cubes for that base and that top is 12. And if it took 12 cubes to build that figure, the volume of that figure, remember, would be 12 cubic centimeters because we count how many cubes all together. In this case, the layers were different. So we could do that with a bunch of different types of objects. We could count each layer, separate the 2 layers, and see what they are when they are put together to find the volume. Here's another volume, right? Or another composite figure. But notice we have 3 layers, right? We have the base layer, which is 4 by 4. Okay, so 4 cubes. So the base, let's put the base layer would be 4 by 4 by 1 high, which is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. So times 1 high is 16. So 16 cubes. Then we have layer 2, which just has those 2 cubes in it. See that with the space? So 2 cubes. Then the top layer is just 4 cubes across. So total, it would take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 plus 1 is 2, 22 cubes to build that, which means that that volume then is 22 cubic centimeters. So if it took 22 cubes, it's 22 cubic centimeters. Okay, so this difference is that each layer has a different amount. Okay, that's the only difference with composite figures. So let's take a look. Let's try a couple of these. Go to page 967. Okay, and notice how here we have a arch, right? The Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And they turned it into a volume question. So let's just review. It says a composite figure is made up of 2 or more three-dimensional figures. To find the volume, separate the figure into figures with volumes you know how to find. So we can't find the volume unless we know the length, width, and height. And in this case, we could find the length, width, and height of the top part going across and each of the tower pieces. Okay, and they give us the dimensions for those. Notice that both of the legs of that arch are identical, and then they have the top part going across. And they say to find that, you find the length, width, height, multiply it, okay, for the one leg, multiply it again for the next leg, multiply the length, width, height of the top to find the top volume. Then we're going to add the 3 volumes together. Okay, can we make this problem just a little bit simpler? What if I change the numbers for it? Okay, just to make it a little bit easier for us. What if I said that this was just 1 across, 2 wide, 3 high? So instead of these numbers, we have 1 by 2 by 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So what if our first leg was 6? And again, let's change this to 1 by 2 by 3. Okay, 1 by 2 by 3, so our second leg is also 6. Then let's change our top to 5 by 2 by 2. So we're going to just take off the last number. And we're going to say 5 times 2 times 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. So this volume is 20. If we add together our 3 parts, we could say this total volume of our small composite figure, not the real Arc de Triomphe, but our small adjusted figure, could be 6 plus 6 plus 0 is 12. Regroup. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 32 cubic yards, or 32 yards cubed. Okay. Obviously, our numbers would have been much larger if we would have used the correct numbers. Let's turn the page and take a look and see if we can do this with a couple other figures. Here we have another composite figure, a larger rectangular prism with a smaller one on top. So remember, we have to find each volume. Volume, again, is length times width times height. And to find the total volume, we're going to add the 2 parts together, okay? So here we have 8, my bottom one is 8 by 6 by 5, okay? And so my bottom figure, well, I'm going to do my easy facts. 6 times 5 is 30. And if I say 8 times 30, I can use some mental math for that. 8 times 30, 8 times 3 is 24. Tack on my 0. So my bottom figure, this one, is 240 meters cubed. But I'm not done yet because I also need to find the top one, okay? And the top, it's kind of hard to tell, but let's see here. So they're giving us this length across is 3, and this is the length. 5 is my height. And because the width is still the same, the width is 6. So if it was 6 down here, it's got to be 6 on that side, which means this is 6 as well. So I'm going to take my length 3 times 6 times my height of 5, okay, for the top one. Again, 6 times 5 is 30, and then I take 3 times 30. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and I'm going to tack on my 0. So the top one is 90 meters cubed. Then to find the total, let's add the 2 parts together, okay? So I have 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 4 is 13. Regroup my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, okay? That means my total volume for this composite figure is 330 meters cubed. Okay, I found my 2 parts and put them together. Okay, now it gets harder as we have more pieces. So let's take a look at this next one. See how there's 3 parts to this? Kind of like the previous arch we did. Well, now I have 2 legs and a tabletop, right? Okay, so let's take a look. I need to know what the pieces are. It says that the height for each layer is 2 centimeters squared. Well, this one, if I'm going to work on this piece, I have 3 across, 4 deep, 2 high. So 3 by 4 by 2. 3 times 4, that's 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So this one is 24 centimeters cubed. Okay, notice this side is identical. That means this one also needs to be 24 centimeters cubed. So far I have a 24 and a 24 that I'm going to add together. Okay, now we need to figure out the top. It's telling me the length of the top is 12 across by how deep? Again, the bottom was 4. That means this one and that, all of those lengths are the same. So it's by 4 by 2 high. Okay, well, if you don't know how to do this, we could just do part by part, right? So let's find our easy fact. 4 times 2 I know is 8. Now I need to know 12 times 8. So 12 times 8. Oops, sorry. I apologize. I was off the video. So we had 12 times 4 times 2. Okay, we said 4 times 2 is 8, and then we're going to multiply that by the 12 to get total 12 times 8. So 2 times 8 is 16. Regroup. 9. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So now this top part is really 96 total. Okay, I'm going to just add that arrow in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take 96 plus 24 plus 24 to get my total. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 1 plus 9, I regroup my 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have a total of 144 centimeters cubed. Okay. Notice we found the volume of each individual rectangular prism and we put it together. Okay. It's not that difficult, but do you notice how important it was for me to know my facts? Not only do I need to know simple multiplication facts, 6 times 5, 4 times 2, 3 times 4, right? But I also need to be able to add quickly. I need to know my addition facts for this. Okay, so make sure you are practicing and memorizing those. It is so super important. Let's try one more. Let's look at number 4. Notice that we have 2 rectangular prisms. Okay, my bottom one is 9 wide, 5 deep, sorry, 4 high. So length is 9. That's my L. Width is 5. Height is 4. So for the bottom one, I'm going to take 9 times 5 times 4. Okay, let's see here. Well, 5 times 4, I know that's 20. Then I have 20 times 9. Hey, that's some easy mental math because 9 times 2 is 18. Tack on my 0. So this bottom part is 180. My unit measurement is yards cubed. Okay, then let's find the top one. Again, here's my length of the top 4. Okay, 5 high. And my width is still going to be that same width. My object isn't any different, so I still have my width of 5. Okay, so now I'm going to take 4, that's the length, width is 5, maybe I should make that an L like that, by 5 high. Okay, so let's see, 4 times 5 is 20, 20 times 5, well 2 times 5 is 10, tack on my 0 of 100, okay, to get 100. So that again is yards cubed. But now I'm going to add my top part with my bottom part. So I need 100 plus 180, and I get a total of 280 yards cubed. Okay, so my total volume for this composite figure, 280 yards cubed. I took my bottom volume, length, width, height. That gave me 180. My top volume, length, width, height, gave me 100. Okay, I could even try it. See the bottom number, the number 7. They give me a base for the bottom with a that means length and width, and then my height of 2. Okay, so my base times height also gives me volume. So in this case, I have 21 times my height of 2. 21 times 2 is 42. So that's this bottom part. Okay. Then I have my top, and they have the length of 2. They gave me the width here. So the width is 3. Okay, 2 by 3. And my height of 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, then I'm going to put together my two parts, 42 plus 18. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6. So my total is 60 millimeters I'm measuring in this time, cubed. Okay, so if they give you a base, remember your base times your height is also volume. Okay, base is length times width. and then the third dimension is height. Okay, but for this problem, they also gave me the width because I needed it for the top piece to show the width of the top part. Okay, and I could have used that to find out the total length. I didn't need that, but remember, if length times width is base, well, here's my base, which was 21, right, is length times width. And if they told me my width is 3, could I find that missing length? Sure. What times 3 is 21? That would be 7. So that whole object was 7 long. Kind of just a little extra part of that. Okay, let's take a look right now. I want you to turn the page. I want you to go to page 971. Okay, and we have 2 objects here that I want you, actually I only want you to try number 1. Okay, so on page 971, I want you to try number 1. Okay, they give you a length, width, height of the bottom figure. They give you a length, width of 1 and height of 5 for the top. Find your volume, put them together to find your total.